Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Actually, not. Oh, goddamn, I keep on saying that. You know what? It's hardwired into my fucking brain. Start over. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people, everyone. Hi, hello. Men, women, not children. This is not an appropriate show for children. I am your host, Sriracha Flash, and this is episode 31 of Some Random. Today with me, the beautiful, the wonderful, the best beard in the FGC, Thomas Winkley. My man, how are you doing today?
I'm good, my dude. How are you? I'm worried about trying to take on that title because I feel like for example, the Hado might have me challenge for that a lot of the time. That worries me.
Well, listen. I'll throw shade at Rick. You tower over Rick, so therefore height automatically puts you in a higher bracket than what Rick has.
That's fair.
Oh man. But listen, I say, who the hell are you? Introduce yourself, and I'll still do that. But I want to give out some of the things that my man Tom here does. My man Tom is a TO in the Utah FGC scene. He is part of a podcast called the Big Shiny Robot Podcast.
That's a thing I do.
Listen, I haven't been able to finish the X-Men Killer Queen episode yet. That's the one that I just started today while I was at work getting ready for this. But don't worry. But I'm listening. Goddammit.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm not very good at self-promoting, but thanks for listening. That's awesome.
When you had talked about wanting to be on the show, I was like, oh yeah, dope. Like I'll go see what Tom is up to. So I have because you never want to bring a guest on and like not know what the fuck your guest is into, right?
Yeah, it's awkward for sure. Yeah.
So I saw the Paul Rudd math episode and I was like, oh, dope. Like I'll fucking listen to it. And then I haven't listened to that one yet, but I started the X-Men one today. Cool. But I will get to Paul Rudd because I enjoyed Living with Yourself, except for the ending.
Cool.
But that's just me.
I hear it's a good show. I have not yet watched it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I won't spoil anything. I will say generally the ending is like a solid ending. It just didn't end the way I wanted it to. But that's because I'm like, what if you just do things the way that I want things done and not like the way that things should be done, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is, they probably made the better call for the ending. I'm just over here being a dickhead about it. Anyways, listen, I'm not going to talk too much about it. I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. But it's a good show. Worth watching. Anyways, but now, my man, I'll throw it to you. Tom, who the hell are you?
Yeah, so I'm just a dude. Like I said, I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. Huge fighting game junkie. Been playing since, I don't know, mid-range through Street Fighter 4. I'm not an 09er. I'm probably more like a 12er.
Okay.
If that's how people define themselves. But,
yeah, that's fine. Like Super Street Fighter era.
Yeah, that's when I picked up. I actually bought Vanilla and then played it for a minute and realized I'm not good at fighting games. But I didn't actually start practicing until Vanilla 2012, AE 2012. Yeah, huge fighting game fan. Big fan of Utah. I like it out here. We have a joke that we tell people that it sucks, but that's just so that people don't move here because it's got enough city to be chill, but it's also quiet enough that it's not super packed. I run some tournaments here. I run bar fights at Quarters every month. Help organize casuals around town. That's what I'm doing after this is hopefully getting out to casuals. And then next weekend, I'm running an event with a bunch of my friends called Got Good, which is kind of celebrating the end of the year for the Utah FGC, right? They put in the work, they did the time, they've been getting points and accruing and attending a ton of events. So we're going to do kind of a last chance qualifier Friday night, and then Saturday night we'll have the top 8 for the whole year. And we just finalized James Chen, who will be out here next weekend. It's going to be a good time, so I'm way excited.
Hey, that's awesome. Congratulations, man. That's getting James out there is a big get. Definitely draws eyes to the event. James, no matter where he goes, if anyone is on the fringe of the FGC, they're like, oh, I recognize that guy. He's
exactly.
He's our John Madden of the FGC. He's just a recognizable face.
No, he super is, and honestly, he's really friendly and really easy to work with, which I think is also a plus. Before the show, we were talking about you send a Twitter DM to somebody, and you're like, oh yeah, see, they read it. I hope they reply. That was me talking to him. I shot him that DM and was like, come on, man. And I waited 3 weeks, but again, he's traveling almost every weekend, right? So it was a super exciting day for me when he was like, yeah, I'll come hang out in Utah. I was pretty stoked. So
yeah, that's awesome. My one experience with James in person was at Combo Breaker this past year when I walked up to him very drunk and I went, James, man, I really appreciate all the hard work you do. And then I stumbled away to my Soul Calibur pools. So I'm sure he doesn't remember me, but I remember that interaction.
He's super friendly.
Yeah, he's super nice. He put up with my dumb ass. So look, anyone that can be like, yeah, man, like thanks, and like let me walk away without being like that fucking asshole, I'm immediately like, yeah, James Shant's a good guy. But all right, so so got good next weekend. Super exciting. Can't wait. I'll definitely be watching.
Appreciate it, man.
For the people that are listening, that's going to be on Get Good FGC, GETGOOD FGC, twitch.tv/GetGoodFGC. So I'll be watching. I can't wait to see it. But like, can you kind of break down like the point system throughout the year and stuff like that? Because I think that's a super cool event that you guys are doing, kind of like Capcom Cup almost.
Yeah, and that's actually where we got the idea. So me and some of the crew from Utah were actually at CEO last year, and we were blown away by the Florida FGC. Like the access to people, the amount of humans, how well everybody knew each other. And to be honest, we had the same realization at Combo Breaker in the Midwest, right? We're like, my goodness, like everybody out here knows each other. They're all competitive. And Utah at the time kind of had it, but not really, right? Like there's always been like this core group since I've always been around of probably 20 people that show up. But there's not like, you don't have people come and stick, right? And that's a fighting game problem in general, right? People come up, they show up to a tournament, they think they're good, they go 0-2 and they never come back, right? They're not sticky.
Right.
So we put together a point system built around not really just winning, but improving. It was the goal. And this year was very much the beta. So basically the way we did it was every game you won every match you won in a set got you a point. So if you went 0-2, but both of your matches were 1-2, you would get 2 points, right?
Okay, so 0-2 but close actually has some meaning now.
Exactly, and the goal for that is for people to not walk away empty-handed, right? And then, if you got into top 8, obviously there were bonuses to offset that. Mainly because, the first thing we found early on with kind of experimenting was that if somebody went into the loser's bracket round 1 and fought all the way back up and took second place, they could actually get more points than first place because they would have played more games.
Okay.
So
yeah, that makes sense.
So we tried to offset that with some bonus points. First place gets 10 points, second place 8. And then the big point of it was to drive people to go to events in Utah, to go to the tournaments being run by people in the community. So we had still have an event called the Salt Lake Skirmish run by a super cool guy, Mark Means. So we were pulling points from that one. We have an event called Game Den Fisticuffs, which is in Provo, which is about an hour south of where I live. So we would definitely give points for that. And then Quarters Arcade Bar was the other one we were doing points for. And so, yeah, we've been ranking those since January. Originally, we were logging into Smash GG after every event and manually documenting points. One of the guys in our scene was cool enough to actually build us a website and a tool to scrape all that and do it automatically for us, which was nice. And yeah, we're wrapping up. So we've got our top 7 for Tekken, our top 7 for Street Fighter. And then this next Friday night, we're gonna do the last chance qualifier, which is just like the Capcom Cup version. Whoever wins it gets the 8th spot. And then Saturday night, we'll do the thing and see who's the best in Tekken, see who's the best in Street Fighter. And we've got some fight sticks to give away from like Focus Attack. We've got, prizes and things. We've been soliciting sponsors for some prize pool money. So we'll actually have like some bigger prize pools for the scene, which I think is really cool because I know like if you're playing in local scenes, you're not really playing for the money. But I do feel it's kind of nice, at the end of the year to maybe earn more than $50 for winning a local, right? Like maybe $200 to $300 feels good.
Yeah.
So, maybe they can go out and use it for Christmas or whatever. So, yeah, we're just kind of finishing up. The stream setup is being done by a production company out here who's doing it for us as a sponsor, and hopefully it turns out well. If it doesn't turn out well, then we'll go back to the drawing board and figure it out next year, I guess. So,
well, at this point, I think you have it set up well enough that there's almost no way it can fail. I mean, I don't want to throw that out in the world, then something catastrophic happen, right?
We'll see.
But I mean, it seems like you guys have taken the proper routes and like managed everything well enough that like it should work out fine.
Yeah, I hope so. I think the big fear I have is a lot of people, like the way we've been promoting it and pushing it, and this falls into my responsibility. A lot of people, even locally, are like, well, you're trying to run a major, and I'm not at all. Like, I want it to be as awesome and cool as possible without being a major. Because I have no idea how I would even scale to that at this point, right? Like, and the intent is not to have pros flying out to compete. The intent is to showcase the local Utah players, to get people to know that we exist, that we're here.
Right.
Even if, we still do struggle to beat Strider. So.
Yeah, well, what can you listen? There's just every now and then there's someone out there. They're God-given talent, something like that.
Dude, Strider is incredibly talented. Yes, and also hardworking.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, you don't get to where you are without being a hardworking guy, and he like you can tell that dude puts in work, puts in time. He definitely studies a lot. He definitely drifts to top tier, so that way he knows. No, anyways. But no, that dude's awesome, and like as a representative for the Utah FGC, I don't know how much of the Utah FGC is actually represented, except for like the 801, which is like the area code for Salt Lake City.
Right. Yeah.
See, I know some stuff. All right, I know some stuff about the Mountain Time Zone. Watching enough college football has taught me enough about like the Mountain Time Zones.
Yep.
So I know some shit, but yeah, I mean, like they have someone out there like that, and no disrespect to you guys or anything like that, but like it's Utah. Like Utah doesn't have like a giant flourishing metropolis or like a giant notable city,
No, you're absolutely right, and it's actually growing rapidly, but it's going to take 10 years before we get to the size of something, honestly, even close to something like Los Angeles or Chicago or anything like that. And I don't know that we'll ever keep up, right? Because obviously those cities are growing too.
Right. But I mean, you guys are making your mark. And
sure.
I mean, you have an NBA team, so like you're always gonna have people, right?
Truth, yeah.
Fuck John Stockton, but I mean, other than that, it's go Jazz, right?
The funny thing about John Stockton is they have a painting of him on the wall of the gym at my office. And it's just awkward. Like I obviously think John Stockton's a good basketball player, but it's just super weird. Like I have to stare at him while I'm on the treadmill, and it's really discomfort. It's really disconcerting.
Yeah, I would be too. If like I'm trying to work out, and like this wiry white guy's just staring at me. I don't know how comfortable I am with that. Like I don't know. Fucking John Stockton. I won't bore anybody else with more sports talk. All right, I did that yesterday or the day before. I don't remember when these fucking podcasts are done anymore. It's all just a big blur for me.
I feel you.
But look, man, as much as I want to continue talking about Get Good, I'm sure we'll circle back to it. But I want to talk some more about the man behind the scene right now, and that's Tom. What got you started in fighting games? What made you pick up Street Fighter in the first place?
So, excuse me, my throat got caught. I think a lot of people have a similar story, right? You played in the arcades as a kid. My mom used to take me to the grocery store. They had a Street Fighter 2 machine. I would play Street Fighter 2 while she would shop. We had the Super Nintendo with Super Turbo, played a lot of that. And then, eventually moving on, kind of fell away from it, obviously. I have a really good friend who's actually in the Utah FGC, his tag's Lord Bane. And we started talking about Street Fighter one day, and we were watching some stream. It was, it wasn't Moment 37. It wasn't a Third Strike. It was definitely a Street Fighter 4 stream. And I'm pretty sure it was just one of like the early like majors, right? It might have even been like an Evo before we went. And he just called me up and was like, hey man, do you want to come watch this thing on Twitch? It'll be kind of fun. And after it was over, we just both ordered arcade sticks, bought the game, and started playing. Like it was immediately like crack. We were like, yeah, we're going to do this.
It was on site, immediately. Just like, all right,
yeah,
we're in.
And we got bodied for years. And mainly because I feel like, we started Street Fighter 4. I don't want to say there's ever too late to pick up a fighting game, but I think for where we were at in our understanding of how fighting games work, it was too late for us. There was a lot of assumed knowledge, right? Like there was so much jargon at the time. It was harder to find resources that really broke down that jargon as easily. That when you would ask for advice on a match, somebody would be like, oh, well, you're -2 there, but then I backdash so that I was able to whiff punish you, and then you lost. And it's like, what? You what?
Slow down. One word at a time.
Yeah. And so, really when 5 came out, I think is when we kind of exploded skill-wise. We got better because we got to learn with the FGC, right? With everybody, right? Like everyone is at ground zero. Everything was starting over. And it gave us time to ramp up, and obviously the pros got better faster, but that there was that base layer established that we could build up within ourselves, and now we can try to catch up. So, yeah. So basically, because of Lord Bane, I play Street Fighter. Because of Evo, I play Street Fighter. And I like Street Fighter.
Hey, look, I mean, it all has to start from somewhere, right? It's amazing to me that your friend just called you up and was like, "Hey, do you want to come watch this Twitch stream?" And you guys actually sat down and watched a fighting game unfold, like a tournament unfold, and you're like, well, fuck, we're in. Because, my friend, my good friend Newman, will invite me over for, AGDQ, right? and we'll watch
Yeah.
like a couple hours of AGDQ and like get drunk and shit like that, and like, well, have a good time. But if I was ever to be like, hey man, do you want to come watch Evo? He'd be like, I got laundry to do. Like
Yeah.
just not my scene. So like that part alone is incredible to me that you were like, yeah, I'll come watch some fighting game shit that I don't know anything about, and then like immediately hopped into the scene. Like that's awesome. Because I couldn't drag my friends kicking and screaming into the FGC if I wanted to, with the exception of a couple. There were a couple that I've taken to it recently, and shout outs to RF Hacker and a couple of the other guys. But
Cool.
yeah, man, that's awesome. But I have to imagine that like you didn't like, oh, what's Twitch? Like, yeah, I'll go watch a fighting game thing. What, like,
No.
take me all the way back. What was the first
So-
games for Tom?
Oh man, I mean, I think my first games. I always feel like it's everyone's first games, right? Zelda, Nintendo for years. Final Fantasy VI, which I will stand on a hill and die. That is the best Final Fantasy ever made. Really, those right. So like Street Fighter 2, Final Fantasy VI, Castlevania. Those are the games that really I came up on, right, in the Super Nintendo era, really. And then, through that PlayStation era, it was Star Ocean, more Final Fantasy, a little bit of, was it Bushido Blade?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
Bushido Blade.
playing a little bit of that. N64 was all Star Fox, Mario Kart, and Zelda. And, of course, Castlevania 64, which is everyone's least favorite game and one of my favorites.
You know what? I actually don't have too much bad to say about Castlevania 64. Like, it's not
it's just
that
fun.
bad. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I think it's solid. Like, I don't know if it's great, but I think I had more fun with that than I did with Symphony of the Night.
Oof.
But
I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I agree with that stance, but I do agree that it's a good game.
Listen. I will. All right, I'm gonna invoke my Beatles versus Zeppelin argument here.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I understand that the Beatles, in the eyes of everyone, were like the favorites, but Led Zeppelin overall is better than the Beatles. Let's just be honest.
I would obviously. I totally agree with that. The only reason I respect and enjoy the Beatles is because they pioneered a lot of modern recording techniques, right? Like,
Yeah.
musically, I don't love them. Technologically, I thank them, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely it does. They did a lot of things that were, yeah, like you said, they pioneered a lot of stuff, and they were like the first to do a lot of it, which is like kind of their big thing, like the first to do like bring that style of rock to America and to the world, and to make it on this stage that they did. But I wouldn't call them like masters of their craft, right? That's just a fact. Like that's just how they are. That being said, big favorites. Everyone loves them. Led Zeppelin better. With Castlevania 64, I enjoyed it more. I think I had more fun with it, but I understand that Symphony of the Night is the better game. Like, objectively,
makes
I
sense.
know it's a better game.
That's fair.
But that's just me. Sorry.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I beat them both the same amount of times, so I can't really say like I prefer either. Like, I just like Castlevania, and I'm an apologist, so
Fair enough.
they can make the worst game ever, and I'll play it. So.
The last Castlevania that I actually like played, and I was like, this might be like a good start to like me opening up to more Castlevanias, was the one that was on 360, Lords of Shadow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this like is like fun, like it's got kind of like Shadow of the Colossus vibes, like heavy.
Yep.
And then like kind of God of War, and then like I beat it, and then I just kind of faded away. And I really wish I could get back into Castlevania, because like I really enjoy Super Castlevania. Like that's probably my favorite one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Super Castlevania 4.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that has the best music in the series.
It's got some good tunes.
Yeah, and some great bosses and great levels. So I think that's my favorite one. But like, and I really enjoyed the Castlevania anime. Like I'm all about the anime.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It is so good.
Yeah, that was the first anime that I've watched in a while that I was like, I should get my wife to watch this. Then I never did, because I don't want her to be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm not watching anime. But like, it's so good that I'm like, someone could watch this and be like, no, this is just a straight up like good ass TV show. That's worth watching. But man, I really need to fucking get back into Castlevania. I have Harmony of Dissonance. Maybe I'll play that sometime.
That's a really good one. That's the DS one, right?
Yeah.
Or is that Yeah, the DS ones are all super good.
Yeah,
Um,
that was just sitting around. Maybe I should play that. Sorry,
that might be
sorry
the one
everyone.
too. No, you're good. That might be the one too where you get like these punching knuckles, they're cestus, and then you get a jaguar spirit so you can run and you can just farm souls all day long and use those to like make crazy overpowered weapons and like speed run it.
Oh, all right. Well,
That's
now I'm in.
awesome when you can do that.
It,
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
any game that allows me to farm and then allows me through customization and equipment to like farm quickly in like a shitty way, I'm like, yeah, I'm all about it. I will get
Yeah,
suckered in so fast.
I'm pretty sure it's Harmony of Distance lets you do that. It might be one of the other DS games, but I remember running for hours just killing these like zombies to pick up their little drops so that I could make like superpower weapons.
Oh
So
man, shit like that is crack for me. Cause like Bravely Default and Bravely Second had the option to like you could encounter twice as many enemies, but also speed the game up to like 6x. So like
yeah, yep.
I would just fucking run in circles and like grind for no reason other than like that kind of shit is fun to me. And like I'm like a fucking cat with catnip, man. Like I can't like I'm like, all right, you have this thing, I have to have it. I don't need it, but I have to have it.
Yeah, I got to get it. I need to finish Bravely Default. That game, I got to like the part. I think it was the end of the game. Like you're flying in the orb of light over the ocean,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I just like died. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and finish this one day. And then I just never played again.
Oh man,
And
it's so good. It's so
and
good.
there's a vampire class that you can unlock, and I want to do that.
Yeah. I
Yeah. So.
Bravely Default I think is probably my favorite RPG since Final Fantasy 9. Um
Okay. 9 is good.
Yeah, I'm having a hard. And I mean, I enjoy the fuck out of her. Hold on. When did Final Fantasy 9 come out? Was that 2000?
Right around then. Might have been like 98, 99.
Okay, well then Legend of Dragoon came out in 2000. That's my favorite one. But Bravely Default up there, probably my second favorite, third favorite RPG.
Oh no, you're right. 2000. 2000.
Okay, alright. So Legend of Dragoon and Final Fantasy 9 were both 2000. So I can say that Bravely Default is up there with Final Fantasy 9 and Legend of Dragoon. It's the greatest RPGs ever. In my eyes. For me personally. Don't come headhunting for me, you fuckers. But 6 is up there. I think 6 is probably like my number 2 on the Final Fantasy board.
I can get behind that. You know, honestly, like this is my unpopular opinion, but 7 is actually lower on the list for me.
That's totally fine. Totally fine.
Mainly because I could never figure out what age Cloud was, depending on what portion of the game I was playing in, and that really bummed me out. And then also, like, I loved the story, but I had played 8 and 9 before I had played 7, right? And so 8 and 9 had already kind of, like, taken my heart.
Okay.
And so I still like 7, but 6, though. Oh, 6 is the best.
Yeah, Terra, I think,
6
is one of the coolest main characters ever.
Yep. Yeah, she's way up there.
Yeah. 7 came about for me. 7, like, so I had played the Legend of Dragoon, and then I had played 7.
Okay.
And so at first I was really into 7 because in the Legend of Dragoon, when you change items and stuff like that, it doesn't reflect on the character that you've changed items. It's just a static, image of the character. But in Final Fantasy, when you change weapons, they were like completely new weapons. So immediately I was like, well, this game's really fucking sweet. But there were little bits of polish and things that Dragoon had that I was like, kind of wish this Final Fantasy game had that. And then when I played 9 kind of cured all those problems that I had with 7. Just like little, I don't know, quality of life things. A little bit better story. Kind of fleshed out, like, character development a little bit more. And so that's why I think 9 works for me so much better. But, like, 6, also fucking fantastic. So, like, I can't fault 6.
Yeah.
But, alright, so you brought this up. So, like, and this is something I've been thinking about it. Because I think about this all the time, and it makes me uncomfortable when I think about character ages. So, like, you said you didn't know what age Cloud was. You know that Mario, like, Super Mario is 26 years old?
I did know that. That makes a lot of sense, though.
Like, I'm just like, man, like, he doesn't feel like he's 26. Like, I don't know, like, I never think about ages, and then when the ages are presented to me, I'm like, but he's, like, 40.
Yeah, like, he is, like, an old Italian plumber to me. Like, my dude, like, especially since in the movie, he's played by, like, it wasn't Danny DeVito, but that's what I feel like he was played by. You know what I mean? Like, he's played by, like, a middle-aged Italian dude.
Yeah, oh, fuck, what's his name? God rest his soul. He just passed away recently. The Super Mario Brothers fucking movie.
Mario.
God, I'm gonna pull it up. I swear on God. Oh my God.
Is it Bob Hoskins?
Yes, Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins, yeah.
He also played the detective in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. Bob Hoskins. What a fucking guy. But yeah, like in that he's like played by Bob Hoskins, who at that point, like I think Bob Hoskins was eternally 60 years old.
And because of that, Mario in my mind is 60 years old. Plus, like, what 26-year-old has a mustache like that? Come on,
that's nobody. What I'm saying.
Nobody at 26 is rocking that kind of mustache.
Only the most true blood Italian, like fucking Mario is, I guess. But goddamn.
Yeah, I guess.
Goddamn. I don't know. But whenever someone presents character ages to me, and I gotta think about it, like when someone's like, "Oh, this character is 19," I'm like, I don't know. Like I know 19-year-olds, they're dumb as fuck. Like I don't want my character to be 19. That shit sucks.
I totally feel you. These 19s are like. You ever think about that in a video game and think like maybe all of this is something really important only to the main character of the game, and like in the actual grand scheme of the world, nobody actually gives a shit?
Yeah, everyone's just kind of going about their jobs while they watch some fucking 19-year-old flail around like his hair's on fire. Like the end is coming. Like, nah, man. Like fuck off. Like I got choring to do. Like I can't.
Like it turns out that Sephiroth was just the guy making a Pokemon that Cloud didn't like.
Oh god, that would be the best. Oh, you found out how to make Pokemon before I did. All right, fuck off, kid. Like the hay isn't gonna pick itself. Jesus Christ. Oh man, no, that would be the best. That would be like the old. You know when like Cloud goes insane and said, "Spoilers for Final Fantasy VII for all you fucking young kids that haven't finished it yet."
Yeah, if you haven't played that game that's been out for 25 years or some shit.
Yeah, so like when Cloud loses his memory and goes crazy, right? What if at the end that's all it was? And he's like freaking out, and everyone's like, I don't know who that old silver-haired guy is fighting the spiky-haired guy on top of that mountain, but they seem to be mad about something. All right, go about your business. And, like, that's it. Like, it's all in Cloud's head. I think I would have taken that ending. I'd have been like, hey, you fucking got me. Like,
you got me. Like, because, I mean, that's what happens in the real world, right? Like, you hear about it on, like, NPR on the way into the office, and you're like, well, fuck, dude, one of them probably died. And then you go do your job and you go home to your family and nobody cares.
And then you never think about it again until someone's like, hey, did you hear about that spiky-haired guy died on a mountain? Yeah, that's crazy, right? All right, yeah, anyways. Fucking dude.
Oh, you passed me that beer? Thanks, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, these fucking brats are really good, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
That would be my fucking worst nightmare if I was like, you guys, the end of the world is coming. Everyone's like, yeah, you fucking jerk off. Like,
yeah, like I gotta go to work in the morning. Shut up.
Yeah, like we would really love to help you save the world. That being said, I'm kind of tired.
I'm tired. I'm out of vacation days.
I'm out of vacation days is the most dismissive shit. Like, I would love to help you move out of your house, man. I'm all out of vacation days. I'm so sorry. Like, oh, thanks. Fuck you too.
I'm gonna say that to somebody this week. I've decided.
Already,
like I'm all out of vacation.
I'm all out of vacation days, man. I'm so sorry. I wish I could help. That's worse than that's above my pay grade. Like that's above my pay grade is some real dismissive shit. Yeah.
The problem is I have to say that at my job quite a bit because people will just come to me for decisions that are actually well above my pay grade, and I'm like, look, here's what I would do. However, I don't get to choose that, so you should go ask the person that can. But I totally get that, like, because most of the time when people say that, they're saying it because they just don't want to deal with it. It's not that it is; it's that they have decided it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's way more than the effort that I'm willing to put into this that I'm not getting paid for. So go find someone else. Oh man! All right, so fucking back on track. Jesus Christ.
Less video games, or less adulting, more video games.
Yeah, exactly. Less adulting, more video games. So again, want to throw it out for anyone that's just now joining us on the live stream. And if you aren't listening on Apple Podcasts, I'm sure you heard at the beginning. But that being said, Got Good FGC is running next weekend. What is it? It is November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th? Or
just 22nd and 23rd. Saturday is the last night.
Okay.
And then I've got to actually hop on an airplane and travel out of town for work right before Thanksgiving. So yeah, just Friday night, Saturday night, we're going to crush it. It's run at a boxing gym, which one of the dudes in our community owns. Going to be super sick. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, Got Good FGC in the Utah FGC. So at Salt Lake City at Quarters? No, I fucked it up. Hold on. I know this. Tom, cover me.
It's at KO. It'll be at KO Boxing.
KO Boxing.
Yeah.
KO Boxing. That's what it is. I don't know why the fuck I just said. Yeah. We just said it's at the boxing gym, and I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Fucking. Jesus
Well, I
Christ.
mean, we are going to be drinking at quarters the night before playing casuals, so it makes sense, dude.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. 3584 South 1950 West 18th West Valley City, Utah.
That's
Goddamn.
right.
What?
City of Dreams.
I don't know how the fuck you guys find anything in
Oh,
Utah. That is
So
ridiculous address.
it's going to sound really weird when I tell you, but it's actually really easy because downtown Salt Lake is literally 0, right? And then you're basically on a Cartesian grid that goes north, south, east, and west. And the further south you go, the bigger the south numbers get. For the north you go, the bigger the north numbers get.
Ah, okay. Okay.
But when you transition cities, this is where it gets confusing because if you transition cities, so when you leave Salt Lake and get into West Valley, where the gym is and where I live, the numbers start over.
Ugh.
So you just got to be cognizant of where your numbers are at because you could hit like that type of stuff can be tricky. But for the most part, you just use Google Maps and you're fine.
All right, fair enough. But even still, I don't. But listen, fucking Salt Lake existed before Google Maps did. I don't know how y'all found anything. But now that you've laid it out for me, I understand a little bit better. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I honestly, you just had to be really good at knowing which direction you had to drive. It was kind of fun, kind of a game. But I feel that way about California because California, people are like, oh, you go to Harrison and take a right, and then you're 4 blocks to whatever. And I'm like, how do I know? How would I know Harrison is 4 blocks from Magnolia? Nobody knows that, but they just know that.
See, all right.
That's crazy.
This is where, like, as a country bumpkin, I can be like, none of that shit means anything to me. Because my entire town is just back roads. Like, we have one main road that goes through the entire town, and then, like, everything just splits off of there. So it'd be like, yeah, so what you want to do is you want to go down to Nestle, and then go down Nestle, take a right on Tower Hill, and once you get to Tower Hill, cemetery's on your left. There you go. And like, that's just how the shit goes. Because we're just in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, it's just a fucking country out here. A country-ass internet. I mean, not really. We got charter, so, like, we're kind of, like, living with the rest of you white folk. So we're kind of catching up, but, like, hot damn,
some of that internet privilege.
Dude, we got, like, I think I talked about this before, but, like, we have, like, 16,000 people in the entire county.
Oh, wow.
So, like, and then I think my town is just, like, 8,000 or 9,000 people. And so whenever I talk to anyone from the city that's, like you, like, with these directions and shit like that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna need like, my Google Maps because I'm not gonna find a fucking thing. Yep. I will get lost in the city. What is a roundabout? I'm very confused. Actually, I'm a big proponent of roundabouts. Sorry, this is now this is where I get adult for a second. Roundabouts, fucking excellent. Every town should have them. They work, they prevent accidents, and goddamn, if I don't have to stop ever, that is the best.
Yeah.
Fucking A, man. Jesus.
Roundabouts are nice, except Utah has this theory. So we have, like, roundabouts, but then we have required U-turns in some new areas that are kind of weird. So, like, you can't turn left. You have to go through the light, and then there's a U-turn you have to take and then turn right. So it's not convenient like a roundabout would be because you have to still go through a cross street, flip around, wait for traffic because the required U-turn has traffic merging and coming the other direction, and then take your right.
Oh man!
And I don't know who thought of that nonsense, but they're dumb.
Oh, that is awful.
It's real bad.
I was in fucking we were in St. Charles for Combo Breaker.
Yeah.
In at least where I'm from in Michigan, there are no roads that, like, oh, you're going, like, there are 2 separate roads, one going north, one going south, right? There are no ways ever for you to go, I want to go south now, so I'm just going to wait till I get to a light, take a left, and now I'm going south. That doesn't exist. If you want to go left, you have to take an exit, go to a gas station, turn around, get back on the road, back the other way, then go south. Like, that shit doesn't exist. So when I'm in St. Charles, and they're like, you want to go, like, south, just fucking pull a Yui right here in the middle of the street. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't, how do you people function? Like, what is this madness? Next thing I knew, I was just doing a U-turn, and everyone was like, it's cool. I was freaking the fuck out. I was like, how do you people, this is chaos. This is chaos. There's no rules down here. There's no rules in Chicago.
Yeah. There's no rules in St. Charles. I actually really like St. Charles for Combo Breaker. I definitely plan on going back.
Yeah, I'll be back next year. Don't get me wrong. I have no problems with St. Charles. I just don't know how you heathens live with your connected roads. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's just what we do. It's what we do.
Well, look, while we're on the topic of Combo Breaker, is it the best event you've been to? Or, what is the best event you've been to?
I got to say, I think I had the most fun at Combo Breaker out of any other event.
Totally fine.
I really liked CEO. It was a lot of fun. I live, Utah is 6 hours from Vegas, so Vegas, we have to go to Evo. Like, I think it's just part of the culture at this point.
Right.
Because if you can't drive 6 hours south to go to the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, who are you? So yeah, Vegas, like Evo's cool. I don't like. I like Evo. I enjoy Evo. Evo is like Street Fighter Vacation, and Combo Breaker is like I want to get good at this video game, and this is where I'm going. If that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because Evo, like if you're gonna play casuals at Evo, you got to know people, you got to hook up with people. By the time you navigate from the venue all the way to your room to get a stick, and then find the other person's room, whichever hotel they may be at, figuring it out on Discord. Oh, they're going to get food. It's 3 hours to get dinner in Vegas because there's always a wait. Whereas Combo Breaker, you just go to the venue and you leave the venue at 4 o'clock in the morning, get some sleep, and go back to watch pools, right? Like, so I prefer Combo Breaker as a competitor, and I think I prefer Evo as like a tourist, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Combo Breaker was dope. So
yeah, Combo Breaker is excellent. Combo Breaker is like the Disney World for fighting games.
Yep.
It is the best. It is everything that you've ever wanted out of a tournament exists at Combo Breaker.
Yep.
I will say personally for me, Michigan Masters, because I'm going to play the part of the homer. Michigan Masters, by far my favorite tournament I've ever been to, because it's a 3-day, 4-day party at this point, and I've never not had a good time and also been completely shit-faced. That being said, Combo Breaker, fucking excellent, man. Just wall-to-wall games, always something going on. Oh, like awesome food, like immediately surrounding the area. The venue is excellent. I can't say enough nice things about it. And then Evo is like, at this point, Evo is the spectacle. Like if Combo Breaker is the Disney World for fighting games, Evo is the fireworks over the Magic Castle for fighting games.
Exactly, and like grand finals, like top 8 at Evo is amazing. It's so much fun to be at. I love being there. I like being at the tournament. But at the same time, like at Combo Breaker, it was a lot easier to wander around and check on pools and see who's playing where and keep up with the crew. Where at Evo, there's so many people there. You literally cannot see all of your friends and acquaintances play their matches. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Which bums me out. Like, I get it. Like, they're running however many, 10,000 people? How many people registered for Evo this year? Like, it's a crazy number.
I think more people were at Evo than live in my town. So, yeah, like 10,000
Yeah.
people.
So, like, with that many people in one convention center, of course it's going to be like that. But that's the thing. Like, Combo Breaker, I got to watch all the people from the Utah Tech and crew that were out there playing, cheer them on. I got to watch the Eunice players from Utah and cheer them on. I got to hang out with a couple of Street Fighter folk that were out there with us. At Evo, I was literally running from pool to pool to pool to pool, trying to watch parts of people's matches, and that's rough, man. It's a rough life.
Yeah, I love my friends. I appreciate them, but like even at stuff like Combo Breaker, I'm like, if I see your match, like I'll stop and cheer, but like I ain't searching you out. So fucking props to you for making an effort to like chase down and support all the guys from your scene, because Lord knows my lazy ass is like, if I see it. Good luck. Don't drown.
Well, and that might be similar for you at Combo Breaker though, because you're way closer to Combo Breaker than I am, right? Like Combo Breaker is a 4-hour flight, whereas Vegas is a 6-hour drive or a 45-minute flight if you're lazy like me and hate cars. So like, there was like 30 something people from Salt Lake at Evo this year, right?
Damn.
Whereas at Combo Breaker there was 9, maybe 10.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, like. The numbers for traveling are like the further away from Utah the tournaments get, the smaller amount of Utah folk that are usually there.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I will say though, only at Combo Breaker could I get hammered drunk, beat Itazan in a match, and force Itazan to take a shot with me.
That sounds awesome.
And thankfully, I don't give a shit. I'll tell this story now. Thankfully, Dell's on Fire got video of it. And sent me the video months later. At the time I was so drunk I don't remember it happening or the video existing. So like 2 months after Combo Breaker, Del Zone was like, "Hey, I got this video for you," and sent it to me. I've never been more happy in my entire life.
So what you're telling me is that when I go to Combo Breaker this next year, I need to hang out with you guys. That's what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
That's the crew I got to be partying with.
On God, I tried to get every single person that I met there drunk, and I'm pretty sure I succeeded. That
awesome.
being said, I might have got a little too carried away because they carried me away on a stretcher. But that's not
Yeah, that'll.
neither here nor there.
There.
The one thing I wanted to ask you about this wasn't on the show notes that I had sent you earlier, but like I've been curious about this. So you've been commentating the RSF online locals.
I have, yeah.
Which is why I brought up Delzone, because I knew that you would know him.
Yeah, for sure.
From playing. How did you get involved with commentating there? Because you seem to have just sprung up, and you know I've known RSF for a long time. I've been playing for a long time, and recently you've been all over the map, which very happy for. But you just sprung onto the scene. So how did that get started?
So I mean, I'm not really good at Reddit. Like, I'll be the first to say it. Like, that's part of like the generation I'm from that I never picked up. Like, I look at r/Street Fighter. Sometimes I post, sometimes I comment, but like, I'm really bad at like social media in general. But I've always been a big fan of Joe Monday. And he and Lord Bane, who again, my buddy, had a pretty good relationship. They talked quite a bit when we were early on trying to build up Street Fighter in Utah and get people to come out and play and hang out. And I was just kind of like on the fence, and then it actually was 2 Evos ago. Like, I tweeted about having to play Daigo in pools, and like before my match, like Joe Monday walked up and tapped me on the shoulder and was like, "Good luck, man." And it kind of like put me in this weird awe respect situation where I was like, I've talked to this guy on Twitter 3 times, and he like sought my match out and came and like wished me luck, right? So I thought that was really cool. And so I've been really kind of following specifically him and what everybody in the r/SF community is doing. And then really, I just kind of asked. Like, I noticed that the commentators would kind of pop in and pop out. Like, Noguremi's always been a staple since I've been kind of getting more involved. Like, I noticed that commentators would just kind of pop in and pop out. So I finally just DM'd him one day and was like, "Hey, man, like, if I wanted to commentate, what would I do?" And he was like, "Show up." And so I just started showing up, and I made it the point to make sure my Monday nights were open. And that's just kind of how it's been. And if I'm not traveling for work, that's where I like to be on Mondays, because I think, like, and this is no disrespect at like the West Coast Street Fighter, because I try to play in those every Friday if I'm home as well. It's that the East Coast scene seems way more plugged into online competition than the West Coast is, which was another reason why I'm also more available on Monday nights. So I just happened to be like, "Hey, can I commentate the dumpster fire?" And I'll hang out. So yeah, I just asked, and Joe was like, "Sure, why not?" And
yeah,
I've just been trying. Like, I want to learn to be a good commentator. I feel like I have so I use it as an opportunity to try to learn.
Yeah, I mean, look, you've done awesome. I mean, I don't. Again, no disrespect to the online local, because
Dude, say what you want, man.
I love it. At this point, I hold the record for 34 weeks straight or something like that, for playing in it like an idiot and never making top 8 like an asshole. But anyway, I do think the East Coast bracket is more plugged in, but I also think that we have the availability of Mondays where we play.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Friday night is kind of like, it's harder to like want to enter an online tournament for free that like doesn't really pay out anything.
And I think too, like, Friday night competes with a lot of other stuff too, right? Because that's what my issue is. Like, it's not that I don't want to play.
Yeah.
It's that there's a good chance that I've committed to my wife that I will go out and do something with her, or there is a tournament somewhere, or like Fridays are very competed for time frames.
Yeah, absolutely. That's like with my wife, like if she works on Friday, so like I'll stream while she's at work Friday night, but like I won't do anything or make plans for after that or before that, because like that's our time together. So I understand people, because like, the online local for the East Coast has been getting like, I don't know, 60, 70 competitors every week.
It's wild. Yeah, it's really blown up. We
broke like 82, I think, a couple weeks ago. And the West Coast, I think, averages like 20 or 30. But again, I don't know if it's like less spirit of competition, more as like it's just on a Friday. So it's harder.
I think you're right. And I will say too that like the West Coast tournament is stacked. Like, I enter it whenever I can.
Yeah.
And I consider myself to be a pretty solid player. Like, I'm definitely not a pro, right? But I can hold my own, and I am probably the worst player that enters that tournament on a coin flip. Like, it's like Chris CCH, Mario DB, a lot of course, Kamikaze Warrior, when he's not running it. Like, it's a lot of big names. Like, it's really good players.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you and I have played matches together. You're fucking solid as shit.
No, I appreciate it.
Hey, listen,
I'm still a little salty about losing to you in the East Coast a while back, but I'll get my run back one day.
You're not the last person. You're not the first or last person to be salty about losing to me. Let me tell you. When I was like early gold, I think I had beat Inactivity, who was a master rank jury player at the time, and didn't think anything of it, like no big deal. And then someone had sent me screenshots where he was in the new Challenger Discord, very upset about it. And I could not fucking help but laugh. That was some of the funniest screenshots I've ever seen in my entire life. And I was just like, fucking what can you do? That's Abigail for you. Bump, bump, ba-da-dum.
Dude, I love watching Abigail because of that. Because it's like they get, I mean, like 2 wrong guesses. That's all it takes. 2 wrong guesses.
Don't fuck up.
Yeah,
Don't fuck up. That being said, I don't know. I really like Abigail the character, and
always a great character.
Yeah, but yeah, you're a fucking solid competitor. So like to hear that you think of yourself as the worst person to enter, I highly doubt. And I know you're just being modest. But yeah, I know that the West Coast has a very, very stacked scene, and I think they could benefit from a little bit more like social media engagement. You know, like we have clips and stuff like that from the East Coast local that Joe sorts out and stuff like that. So I think if they had some of that was kind of put out there, they could probably draw in maybe not higher level talent, but more people that want to play and kind of know about it. Which might be a good thing for them.
And I think that's the part about growing something like that, right? Is you have to. Maybe this is just me getting preachy, but I feel like it's not always about higher level talent. It is about numbers in a way, because it's like if you get 100 people to show up, there's no way that all 100 of them are going to be the best players in the world, right? But if 10 of those people take the commitment and the time to grow themselves and build up, they can then pass that knowledge down to the other parts of that 100, and your scene as a whole grows up, right? Like your overall strength will build. I mean, that's what Valle did with Wednesday Night Fights.
Right.
And I think it's the same with what's going on with the East Coast. The East Coast, Dumpster Fire, and I think the West Coast has an opportunity to do that too. Like, it's all about, you have to be consistent, you have to be there, and you have to provide that place and keep people coming in so that they can grow together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want any of this to sound like a knock against the West Coast tournament.
No.
I think they do an awesome job, and I really hope the best for them. I hope the best for them. I hope the best for the EU tournaments with Cross Moon. Moon's putting on the EU tournaments out there. That fucking young pup took it upon himself to be like, I will absolutely run an EU tournament on Saturdays for RSF like a crazy person. So shout outs to him. I've known Cross Moon now for a couple years since he hit puberty, and I just like to throw that out there because I know he listens. And
it always shocks me at how young. Like, I always forget the age gap between a lot of us in the FGC.
Oh, fucking tell me about it, my guy.
Yeah,
I'm 29, and then I meet someone that's like, all right, here's my story. I'm 29 at Michigan Masters. Me and this guy playing casuals. I go, hey, you want to go grab a beer? I'm not old enough to drink yet. Fuck, you kids. Jesus.
We took a guy with us to a Capcom Cup last year, and I felt so bad because we were waiting to check our bags basically with the bellhop, and we're like, we're gonna go get a drink at this bar while we wait, and he just had to sit there with our bags while we all had 4 shots. And I felt bad because he's a cool kid, we really like him, but I was like, sorry man, but we're in Vegas and we have to do this, so we'll be back.
Yeah. You have to understand, god damn it.
Yeah, we're old, and when you get to this age, drinking is how you cope with life. So we'll be back in half an hour.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Please, don't get in the way of me having a couple drinks, god damn it. But yeah, man, these, I don't know, you play with, so many kids. When I had Noga Remy on, Noga Remy's like, yeah, I'm graduating college and, moving out to California. I was like, oh, fuck, he's, 24. 25. Oh, man.
I didn't know he was planning on moving out to California. That's cool. Maybe I'll get to run into him in person, because the odds of me getting out to Rochester are pretty damn slim.
That's true. Yeah, so spoilers for fucking Noga Remy, but I don't care. He's talked about it on Twitter and I think on this show before, or at least on my stream. So when he graduates, he's moving out to California, I think at the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Wow. Okay.
So, shout out to Noga Remy. Hope that dude does really well. He knows that I love him. I like to give Noga Remy a lot of shit, but that's because he throws shit my way and we go back and forth, so it's all right.
Yeah, he's a good shit thrower. He's good at that, for sure.
That motherfucker. All right, so the backstory. One night, online local, I don't remember how it started, where it came from. He just wanted to run my fucking name through the dirt. I I think I was going to be on stream, or maybe I had won a match in bracket, and then Joe Monday was like, oh, Sriracha Flash is in winner's side, blah, 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 blah. And Noga Remy goes, yeah, Sriracha Flash, he's not very good, but he knows what he's doing. And I was just like, oh, all right, Noga Remy, I thought we were friends, but I see how it is. And so now that's just been like a fallback line for whenever he does anything. Like whenever he does an interview, I'm like, Noga Remy, yeah, not very good, but he knew what he was doing. And it's just good to throw a little bit of fucking shade at him every now and then. Because he is such a good guy, and he does do so many good things for the community. Like, you need to throw some humility his way, because Lord knows, not everyone can be sucking his dick. Goddamn Noga Remy.
Nah, man, you don't want his head to get too big.
Exactly. Fucking, where's the fun in that? Letting your friends feel good about themselves? Jeez.
Nah, fuck that. You gotta knock them down.
What kind of asshole? Oh, man. So for anyone that's just not joining us, anyone that's been watching, this is the Twitch live show. This is my interview show, Something Random. With me today, the wonderful, the beautiful Thomas Winkley. We are talking about Get Good FGC, which is the Utah Salt Lake City scene, and their event next weekend, the 22nd and 23rd, Got Good FGC, which is a culmination of all of their events leading up to this final one. Think of the Capcom Pro Tour with a point system that you can earn that like gets you into this specific special bracket. And they have a last chance qualifier next week. So please, everyone, watch Got Good FGC on the Get Good FGC Twitch channel. They're gonna have James Chen commentating, which is awesome. The point system and the whole like unifying the state to create this thing is awesome. I wish that there were more states like that. I wish Michigan had something like that. Because Lord knows I would lose my mind for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping it works out. I think next year, we've had a lot of feedback from the community on maybe point system to maybe fly some players instead of putting on a big event, flying players out. Okay. So we might try the Reddit model next year. See if we can get a couple players. Because like I said, we have some really good players in all the scenes. Like not just Street Fighter, we have awesome Tekken players, awesome anime players. So it might be kind of fun. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, for this year, throwing this big tournament, throwing a bash, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, look, I cannot wait to fucking see it. That being said, if anyone in the chat has any questions for Tom about the Utah FGC, about his events, about him commentating, about his podcast that he does, if you guys have any questions at all, it could be about anything. If you want to know what the best pizza toppings are, go ahead, throw them in the chat, and we will answer them as we go along throughout the rest of the show.
God, I love pizza so much.
Fucking you and me both, brother. You and me both. All right, fuck it. We're already there. We went to Cleveland like a couple years ago. Got this thing called the spicy pie, and it had pepperoni, banana peppers, jalapeno peppers, green peppers, sausage, and mushroom. Spicy sausage and mushroom. And,
that sounds so good.
Dude, it is. Ever since then, I'm like, that is my go-to pizza toppings to mow down on. They're just the best.
Yeah, I haven't done pizza in Cleveland. I only did barbecue. I got Mabel's out there, which was...
Oh, okay.
God, like... Was the spicy pizza like a... Like, was it like a thick, like a Chicago-style deep dish, or was it just like a thin crust?
This was thin crust, a little bit of cornmeal on the bottom to give it a little bit of extra crunch when you bit into it, and then just lightly folded up all on the outside of the pizza, so you had like a handle to grab onto, but like not eat the crust, but like just enough to like give you like, not like you're trying to fold it up and eat it like a shitty New York pizza, but like an actual crust to grab onto, and goddamn, it's magnificent. Every pizza place that I've gone to since then, I'm like, make this specific pizza for me. And not any place does it as well as Pizza 216 in Cleveland. But goddamn, it's an awesome combination to try.
I'll have to put that on my notes if I ever get out to Cleveland again for work.
Listen, just whatever pizza place you're at, order it up. Just fucking, I will send you the goddamn list. I'll put it in the show notes. I'll tell everyone to fucking order this pizza. It's so goddamn good. A4 Hugh wants to know, why is Ibuki broken in Street Fighter V?
She's not. She's fair and balanced, man. She is totally equal. There's nothing broken about that character. No joke. I actually want to try to get sponsored by r/SF just to make Quasimodox make me a fair and balanced shirt with Ibuki on it. Like, I just want a shirt with Ibuki that says fair and balanced.
All right. So here's the idea. Are you ready for this? This is beautiful.
I'm ready.
Okay. So it's got Ibuki on one side of a teeter-totter, right? And on the and she's like emptying her pockets of like bombs and like her EX shuriken, and then the other side is like a pile of kunais. So that way she is perfectly balanced across the scales, and then like fair and balanced right underneath it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yes. I love it, dude. That'd be so sick.
I'm telling you, a fucking genius ideas over here.
Genius idea. I would buy that shirt. Like I would almost pay to have that shirt designed. Like I would almost front it just to have that shirt out there, just to make people angry.
Oh, that would be the best. That would be the best.
But honestly, like I don't know why she's broken. I think it's amazing. I love that she got in.
Oh, Tom, you still there? We might have lost time. Uh-oh. I don't have a technical difficulty screen. Okay, Tom, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Sorry, you broke
All
up.
Right, cool.
You talked about how you let Ibuki made it in, and then your microphone said, we can't let him talk about how broken Ibuki is.
Yeah, they were like, Capcom was like, nah, don't expose our secrets.
Exactly. Capcom's broken.
No, I was just saying, like, I thought it was amazing that she got into Season 4 and the only nerf she got was that her V-trigger activation on block is -2. Like that, like, we were sitting at Ramen in Vegas reading the patch notes and all of us were like, and I just, like, read my one patch and I was like, that's it? Like, that's it? Like, I feel like I got away with murder, to be completely honest. Like, I felt so good. Yeah, I don't know why they keep making her top tier, but I love it. Like, I think Ibuki in 5, like, her mix-ups are super fun. They feel so good when you land them. Her combos are cool. Yeah, I love that character.
I think she's so well designed. At this point, it's almost impossible to nerf her to a point of being unusable because of the tools that she has. And
I agree.
I think she is one of the perfect standout characters built for 5. And I think instead of referring to her as broken or needing nerfs, maybe try to bring the rest of the cast up to her level.
I would agree.
And give them tools to supplement maybe not the mix-ups and abilities she has, but at least put them on an even playing field with Ibuki.
Yeah, because I mean, and honestly, like, I do think Akuma's a better character than Ibuki, if I'm being...
Oh, 100%. I mean, no offense to Ibuki, but, like, Akuma just has fucking tools out the ass.
Yeah, like, all that dude's got is tools and damage. Like, not just tools, but tools and damage. And Ibuki has damage, but I do feel her damage comes with, like, some execution costs. Like, you have to be able to confirm off of specific situations, which is why I think Fujimura is so incredible, because Fujimura is always optimal, right? 100% always optimal.
He is he's a Native American. He uses every bit of that buffalo. He squeezes every inch of damage out of meter that he has. It is ridiculous.
And it's always optimal based on the first hit. Like, if Fujimura gets the anti-air at the right height into the light kick run cancel, he immediately has the right answer. It's his skill level is so crazy. Where I feel like, and I'm not knocking Akuma players because there's definitely skill to Akuma as well, but I feel like with Akuma you don't have to have that awareness to just get mad damage anyway.
Yeah, that shit just comes like in spades. You can fuck around and do 30% damage with Akuma.
Yeah,
it's I don't know. Maybe give him 700 health. I don't give a shit. Like, make him a true glass cannon. Like, one hit KO. I don't care. But goddamn, that character just has some fucking tools. All right. So Jazzy J wants to know, what do you do to study for commentary? Are you a heavy frame data and technical commentator, or are you more charisma driven?
I'm kind of in the middle. I have quite a bit of frame data knowledge, at least for my character and for the matchups I've played a lot. I don't have specific frame data knowledge to the level of other really, really good technical commentators, right? As far as what I do to study, I watch commentators, like, and I don't like watch them for the commentary, but I watch a lot of CPT events. I watch a lot of streams in my downtime while I'm doing chores or whatever. And if there's situations I don't understand, I'll actually kind of like pause the stream and like look the situation up or try to write it down to remember it, to look up what happened. And that's actually something I learned from, again, my buddy Lord Bane, because when we would watch tournaments and our characters were playing, if we didn't understand why somebody made a decision they made, we would actually go look it up. Like, okay, why did they push this button at this moment? And try to wiggle our brains into understanding why they did that. So that's probably the only thing I really do to prepare for commentary, is that I just ingest a lot of Street Fighter content. And if I have a question about something, I go try to look it up, so that I can remember But otherwise, like I don't feel like I do a ton to specifically prep for commentary.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
that is way more effort than I put into my commentary. So you are well and way far ahead of me, and that's actually really good
Okay.
advice for a lot of like up and coming commentators. Like I know guys like Jazzy J in the chat and stuff like that are working towards trying to get like start commentary. Like he's in the South Carolina scene, and so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
kind of wants to start working towards that. So like that's actually really good advice. Like understand like if you're watching an event and you find a situation that confuses you, find a way to emulate it, or ask someone who is a specialist in one of those characters to kind of let you know, or search out the information. Because you don't want to be like caught in a moment and be like, don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, and there's a lot of laterals you can draw from like being a player to a commentator, right? Because I mean, that's why I honestly like I know Joe Monday doesn't consider himself like a competitor, but I believe he is a solid fighting game player because the insight he brings into his commentary, if you listen, is like he's talking through the situation and like the mindset of each player, which is something I can't do as well. And I think a step to doing that is breaking it down exactly. Like, why does every Zangief do this? Or like when a Zangief dashes forward, like what are they actually doing, right? Well, we all know they're buffering SPD. And if you jump back, they're gonna instant air SPDU, and if you don't, then they're gonna try to SPDU. Like so, like that kind of stuff. Understanding what a character, like what the character's routes are, is really helpful to commentary. If that makes any sense.
No, it absolutely does. Absolutely does. Yeah, I love Joe. I think that dude's an awesome competitor. Goes like he plays in the pre-show before the tournaments, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, he puts an ass whooping on all of us sometimes. From Rushdown to Noguremi to myself, Joe's just fucking solid, and
Yep.
I kind of wish he would compete sometimes. Well, I mean he does, right? Because like we saw him play in Canada Cup last year against Idazan. And he really wanted to run the Zangief mirror with Idazan, but Idazan was like, I have a tournament to win, Joe. Like, I'm running Abigail.
Yeah, my sponsor needs me to bring home bacon, so
But yeah, man, Joe's a great fucking guy. And a great commentator.
yeah. I agree. Yeah.
But RF Hacker has actually a pretty solid question, one that I'm kind of interested in hearing from you myself. Sorry. What were some of the introductory steps that you took in organizing events? And is your motivation mostly to enhance your scene, or do you enjoy things like running brackets?
Oh, it's a cool question. I would say within my own scene, it's definitely the motivation is to grow what's going on in Utah, right? And to give stability and a place to play. I think, every community has unique challenges. They have unique things they need. And it's really hard to assess those unless you've been around in the scene for a while. And the thing that, me and the people I've been working with have really noticed is that like consistency in the Utah scene and the FGC is few and far between, right? Like a consistent venue that'll keep letting the FGC show up was hard. And there were a lot of different reasons for that. There's money, there's venue fees, there's all kinds of stuff that played into that. And so I really wanted to find a way to put the scene in a place that like they knew they had a place to go and it wasn't hard to look up, right? If you didn't, like if you're from Utah and you hadn't played a game in 6 months, you just knew that if you showed up to place X on Thursday nights, there'd be a game. Or if you're in X Discord, you would just go to the channel and the channel would tell you where to go. We really wanted to put that stability in there, especially for Street Fighter. Because a lot of the other communities, too, that have been playing games that were more underrepresented in the past, they have kind of a friendship niche there where there's text messages and group messages and that type of stuff going on, and we wanted to make it more accessible. As far as do I enjoy running brackets, for the most part, yeah, I don't mind it. I like running brackets at bigger events that I'm not running more than I like running brackets at my own tournaments. I think at my own tournaments, I want to watch the matches. I want to see people playing. I want to commentate. I want to talk trash with everybody. But like at Combo Breaker, I signed up to run. Like they had like a volunteer sign up, and I was like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want. I don't care. And I ran like 2 Super Turbo brackets, and it was so fun. I had so much fun running the Super Turbo brackets.
Oh man, yeah.
So like I enjoy running brackets at other people's events. More than I like running them at my own, but I don't necessarily mind it. Like I think it's fun. It at first it felt kind of threatening, but it's really a pretty straightforward process. And especially with apps like Challenge and Smash GG, you don't really have to think about it too much.
Yeah, just input the wins.
Like,
go.
yeah, you just put the wins in, you hit enter, it does the thing. Make sure you entered it right. If you entered it wrong, you can go back and edit your results. So yeah, I don't mind. So yeah, my first steps were just like, I just want to do it. And honestly, we got really lucky because Quarters, the arcade bar that I run my event at, first of all, the coolest people on the planet own that bar, and they are super welcoming. And all they want to do is give anybody that needs a community a place to be. So they are very like-minded with me. But actually, when they did a Kickstarter to buy some of the furniture for the bar, and as soon as I saw the Kickstarter, I donated and emailed them and was like, "Hey, when you open, I want to play Street Fighter at your bar. Like, that's what I want to do." And so they said, "Yeah, talk to us after we open." And about a year after they were open, I emailed them again. I was like, "Hey, I figured you were really busy. Like, I would love to start doing this." And they immediately were like, "Yeah, what are you doing in a week? Let's get tournaments going."
Wow.
And they've just given us a really good home. So I was kind of forced into it in that way, where they were like, "Yeah, absolutely, but you have to do it every month." And so I just kind of had to commit to it, and it kind of made me put my money where my mouth is too.
That's awesome though. Like, it's awesome that they gave you a home and like a place to be like, fucking like open arms. Like, yeah, please come do this fucking event. Like, put on a show, bring in business, and also we will supply you with beer for your event.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come drink, and they've been great. Like, we've had sponsors from like Patron, Red Bull, a bunch of local breweries, and it's mainly just because they were just like, "Hey, we were talking to the beer rep, and they were going to give you a bunch of T-shirts to give out tonight." And it's like, great. Like, so yeah, they've been a super cool spot.
Damn, Utah FGC is fucking getting it. Shit.
Getting it in the bars. We love our bars out here in Utah.
Oh man, well, I love my bars too. Can I come? I want to come hang out in Utah.
Dude, you come to Utah. We will get you drunk. We'll do the work.
Oh man, I want to. All right, I'm going out to Utah for an event next year. Fucking put me down. I'll come out to Utah for an event. That sounds fucking dope. Absolutely.
It's a pretty cool place, man. I would recommend coming out spring or fall. Okay. Unless you like the heat, like middle of summer, we're sitting 95 to like 110 degrees. So
fuck. Listen,
I would say July and August are off the table, but like September is good.
Okay, all right. I can get down with September. That's like start of football season. I'll go catch a Utes game. I'll fucking
dude, do it.
I'm down. Goddamn.
We love our at least in this house. I married into a Utes family, so we are red all the way.
Okay.
So.
No, like Utah State Aggies or something like that.
I mean, like, we respect the Aggies. They're in a different division, so there's not like a rivalry. But like, right. we don't say BYU in this house. Like, that name doesn't leave your lips.
Oh so. No. Listen,
that's a
BYU can go fuck themselves. I'll throw that out there right now. I hate Brigham Young.
They don't have a division, so they kind of are if you look at it.
Yeah, I mean they really are. Well, they put themselves in that corner. They're fucking. There was a story.
Literally fucking themselves.
Yeah, literally fucking themselves. There was a story a couple years back where one of the running backs for their team, I can't remember his name, but God bless him. God bless him, man, because what a champion he is. They caught him having a couple beers at a party, and they suspended him for having beers as like a non-Mormon activity or whatever the fuck it was. And I just wanted to be like, you sons of bitches. Let the college kid have a beer. Jesus Christ. He's fine. And then, I can't remember the name of their quarterback, but they had a quarterback from years back that I also didn't care for. So, fuck BYU. Yep. Go Utes.
That's fair.
I know Urban Meyer left you guys high and dry to go coach at Florida before he had more heart attacks, but fucking go Utes.
Hell yeah. Got a big game this Saturday. We'll see what happens.
I know. So. Fucking tell me about it, my brother. You guys are ranked like 8th in the nation right now. So, fucking, the playoffs aren't too far away. Hopefully. God willing. If we could get Utah into the playoffs, that'd be fucking sick. That would be very happy for me. Sorry, that's just me. Me may or may not have money on whether or not some teams get into the college football playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. That's personal bets that no one needs to know about. Oh.
You're right. You have to talk with him for a second while I wait for it to catch up.
Okay, yep, no problem. We got Robot Tom on here for a second. Hope everyone enjoyed Robot Tom. Robot Tom will be right back with actual Tom, I promise you. We're just rebooting in one Mississippi. Until then, I'll carry the conversation. Say thank y'all for being here. And if you want to see Tom, and you want to go to his event, that is Got Good FGC, November 22nd and 23rd, next Friday and Saturday. And that will be streamed on Get Good FGC. James Chen will be there commentating. That will be awesome and very, very exciting. And it's a whole invitational at this point. Their players have earned points throughout the year. And now they will be competing to find out who is the best in all of Utah. Wow, which is super duper fucking exciting. They have a last chance qualifier, which takes place on Friday for Street Fighter V and Tekken 7. And that person will get into top 8 as the 8th spot.
Correct.
I think I hit all of it.
You got it all. And if we are also running open bracket for Unist, Mortal Kombat 11, and Blaze Blue Central Fiction, which I don't know where the stream will be. We do have a second streamer coming in, but we do not. I think he's going to put it on his channel, which is Salty Gaming Show, if I remember right.
Gaming Show. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be tweeting all those links out as well for the anime heads. I'm actually not playing in the Street Fighter tournament. I did qualify, actually in second place, thank you. But I felt weird to play in my own tournament, so I will be playing in Unist and Mortal Kombat, which I am terrible at both, but I'll be there trying to represent. So,
and listen, as long as you're filling out the brackets, can't complain about that. Can't complain about filling out brackets. Well, look, man, I'm very happy for you guys. Super proud of what you're doing. But I got to throw it to you more about you, Tom, the man.
Sure.
More than the event that you guys have going on out there.
Yeah.
You've been around for a while at this point, close to 10 years, supporting the FGC, being around the FGC, traveling, seeing all the fun stories. Do you have a favorite story that's come out of the FGC?
Let me think here. So I could probably think of a couple. So I think the first time I got in the elevator with Fudo and PR Rog was only because I was super new to the FGC. I was totally starstruck. And PR Balrog was just heckling Fudo from 5 feet away. And Fudo just smiled at him and just nodded. It was just so uncomfortably funny. So that was a pretty good story for me just because PR Balrog just kept going, Fudo, taunting him. I don't know. It was real weird. That was a pretty good memory for me. I'm trying to think of other good FGC memories I've had. Man, Combo Breaker was just a fun weekend. It was just a fun damn weekend. Actually, that's one of my favorite memories is my buddy Blanca is Electric from Utah, actually currently living in Colombia. He beat Ron Masama handily. It was not a gentle victory. It was brutal.
Ooh.
And that was a good memory just because, Ron Masama's kind of a known name. He's a pretty solid known quantity. And a lot of the big names like Maureen and such were standing around kind of watching as my buddy just Blancaed the hell out of him. So that was really fun. That's probably my favorite memory there. That, and then I got to play against Daigo in pools last year.
I saw your headline photo on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean that was a really cool moment. I got a round off him.
Okay, all right.
I did okay, but I also learned how bad the Guile matchup can actually be, which I thought was cool. But it was just a cool experience. When I saw that picture on Red Bull Esports or whatever, I was like, oh my gosh, there was 50 people behind this, and that was really cool to realize that I didn't completely look terrible. I mean, I didn't look great, but I didn't look bad. I just looked like a guy that wasn't as good as Daigo, and I'm okay with that. That was good. That was a good day.
I mean, it's a great photo. Do you mind if I throw it up on screen for the people to see?
No, dude, go for it. Yeah.
All right. So it's a great fucking photo. So for the people that are watching the stream right now, there's our man Tom with his Big Shiny Robot T-shirt on. Shout out to the Big Shiny Robot podcast. Everyone go listen. And so then there's Daigo, and then just a fucking swarm of people around him, which is why I'm sure at the time you probably didn't notice. So no big deal.
No.
But then, like you said, seeing it after the fact and seeing the we were mobbed by people.
Well, and really so the dude holding the phone behind me, that's Trevor. That's a Utah boy.
Okay.
The dude kneeling with the red necklace thing on, that's Zenny. The Asian dude to the right of me that's kind of kneeling down, that's Viet. He actually plays Guile, so I had been training with him for this match for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just super sick. Because the only people I knew that were there were those 4, and really there was a lot more, as you can see. So yeah, when I came to, I was like, oh damn, look at all these people. It was cool. It was really fun.
Oh man, wow, what an awesome moment. Yeah, that's super cool though. That's super super cool. It's, I mean, as much as we don't want to put players on a pedestal because that shit's weird, it is cool to have a match with a known name and then realize oh, by proxy, I'm also getting extra attention because people are watching my match now.
Yeah, and it's funny because there was people tweeting about it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I was at that match. He did all right." And then of course there was the cancerous folk that were like, "Whatever, just some random random dude getting bodied. I'm like, yeah, you're right, but you know what? You weren't that random dude. I was.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
was
At least I showed up for the event, you bronze piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't mind throwing shade at the fucking Twitch chat. Fuck them. Fuck them all. Except for you guys in my Twitch chat. Y'all are great. Wink.
Of course.
Kissy face. But no, man, those are fucking dope stories. I always like when people like give intimate stories or like personal stories on that section of the show because I mean everyone has great moments. Like, and I don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to knock the people that said like Goichi and Sonic Fox, like their rivalry is one of their favorite stories.
Oh, dude, it's such a good rivalry.
Yeah, because it is like that's fucking great, and it's great to experience and take part of. And like to see like Sonic Fox just won this weekend, resetting grand finals, and then like going on a fucking tear and like beating the piss out of Goichi, which was awesome. And you know, and Goichi winning his first Evo against Sonic Fox, all great moments. But I really like when people put personal flares on it, and really like you know give their side of the stories for a lot of things. That'll be a lot like because everyone knows the Goichi Sonic Fox story, but like no one knows about Fudo being heckled by PR Balrog in the elevator. So I always like when that shit gets out there.
Yeah, for sure.
So, once again, I will throw it to the chat to say if y'all have any questions that you would like to ask Tom, please feel free, ask away. Ask him how he maintains his beard so well, how he feels about winning the first Sriracha for best beard in the FGC.
Yes. Hell yes.
Anything that you have on your mind. While I ask Tom this last question as we start to wrap up here. Tom, this is your spotlight. This is your moment. Anything that's on your mind, anything you want to talk about, this is your platform right now to get it off your chest, to put it out there. I will give you the floor.
Man, this is gonna get preachy, and I'm sorry, but it's been on my mind all week.
Totally fine.
So I'm gonna get it off here. Man, we got to be nicer to each other, folks. Like, I don't know how to say that any other way than like we just got to be kinder to each other as like a people. And I mean that like in a lot of ways, right? Like not just as an FGC, but namely inside the FGC, like as gamers, you know, we get these heated opinions about stuff, right? And like you can disagree with somebody without them being your enemy. And I think that's something that needs to be really like driven home. Like you shouldn't always assume malice in other human beings, because if you assume everyone's out to get you, they probably are. Because you're gonna make them that way because of the way you react to them. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, just be kinder, man. Like always like assume good intent from people until they show you bad intent is like the best thing I can say. Like it's something I've been dealing with a lot lately. It's something I've seen a lot of my friends dealing with. I've seen obviously on Twitter like Blow Up Tuesday and all this other stuff. Like just
Lord knows I've been guilty of it. Like I know I do that shit because
we all are. I am fully guilty of this as well.
Yeah.
But just like Just think about that. Like I try to enter any situation of like this person probably doesn't mean to hurt me, right? And if you can do that, it will make conversations a lot better. You'll be able to listen better. And that doesn't mean you have to put up with crap. Like you still need to stand your ground, right? Like if someone's being a dick and they're refusing to hear your side of things and they are mistreating you, you should not take that. But if you assume that what they're trying to do is deliver an opinion to you, great. And if they try to give you a counter opinion, that doesn't mean that they hate you. It just means that they don't believe the same as you, and that's okay. I think that's my point, mainly. That's my, yeah, and also what our attacker says, never mistake malice for something that can easily be explained by stupidity. And, like, that's huge, right? Either stupidity or ignorance, right? Like, they may just not know.
Yeah, they really might not. Yeah, like, they might just not know.
Yeah, and if they don't, that's not an affront to you. They just don't know. And if they do know, or they don't know, and they're unwilling to know because they just want to be ignorant, that's different than just being like, oh, I'm sorry, let me be educated. So that's it. That's my thought. Like, just, like, I've had a lot of stuff this last month where people just assume malice, and it's been like, you know, we're just different. Like, I'm older than a lot of people in a lot of communities. I think about a lot of stuff differently because I've been working in a professional career for 15 damn years, and I do a lot of different things. And maybe somebody who's 20 years old doesn't think and process things the way I do. And when I try to have those open discussions, it becomes very hostile very quick because they think I'm brushing them off, but I'm not. I'm just being diplomatic and understanding. And it can go either way. So it's just something I've learned lately that, you know, assuming malice makes it hard. That's all. That's my rant, my pulpit.
Look, I'm totally all right with your rant. I think your rant works very well, and I think it's a good lesson for a lot of people to kind of take a stand with and really listen to the words because they actually mean something. And there's value to understanding your fellow man and the people around you without attacking them, really, I guess. And realizing that there are people of different ideologies and opinions than you that you can be friends with and that you can kind of learn from. Surrounding yourself with different outlooks and different cultures and people from all over the world, from all over the FGC, from however small or big your circle is, will help broaden your horizons, help you grow as a person. Whether or not the person agrees with you or disagrees with you, it's okay to understand that you might have level footing on something else. So try to understand that person before you dismiss that person.
Totally.
But anyways, I will not take your soapbox from you. I'll let you stand on your soapbox. And look, we will leave this podcast with on a lighter note. In a 50 states fighting game, who from history reps Utah and who do you main?
Oh my goodness. We're talking like characters that came from Utah, right?
Yeah. So what one? There only has to be one character per state, so you only get one character from all of Utah history.
All right, I'm gonna give you a messed up answer, and then I'm gonna give you the probably more correct answer.
I will take both happily.
So the messed up answer is Ted Bundy.
No, that's perfect. No, fuck it.
like in a fighting game, I just feel like I would main Ted Bundy. I love that stuff. So if they were like, this is a fighting game of serial killers, and you got to pick, I'm like, well, Utah gets Ted Bundy, right? So that's who I'm playing as. Otherwise, I would say, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? Obviously, you could say Brigham Young, right? Like he's the founder of the state. I think.
Sorry.
I know. Oh, I'm with you, dude. Like I'm not a fan, but like he would probably be the guy I would go with. I can't think of anybody else Utah-wise that would really be like a representative.
Can we use the transplant? Can we put John Stockton in a fighting game so I can beat the shit out of John Stockton?
John Stockton, dude. So they remake a 50 states fighting game. It's actually Shaq Fu, and we put John Stockton in there.
Yes, absolutely. John Stockton's the training dummy from Utah. You just beat the shit out of John Stockton all day. Shove those career assists up your ass, John Stockton. Get a real fucking stat, you asshole. Oh, God.
He was the best team player.
Was he? Was he really, though?
I actually don't know. I don't do sports well. Like I watched the Jazz when I was a kid because it was. I did watch the Jazz when John Stockton was coming up, but I was too young to really understand how those stats worked. So.
Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. Well, as someone who is balls deep in basketball and sports, I will say John Stockton was an excellent team player and elevated everyone around him to a higher level, which is what a real team captain I feel like can do in sports, in the FGC, and esports, in life. That being said, that motherfucker wore those nut hoggers for so long when everyone else was wearing real basketball shorts. Right. Just let your balls hang out, John. Jesus Christ, you fucking old man.
Just wanted to make us all uncomfortable. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit. Well, Tom, this has been an awesome time, man.
It's been fun, man.
Thank you for coming on. One more time, if the people want to find you or Get Good FGC, where can they find you guys?
Yeah, so at GoodFGC on Twitter. We try to be better about tweeting stuff. Again, I'm a terrible social media user, but I do my best. Next weekend, Get Good FGC on Twitch. We do stream bar fights every month. We'll be streaming this tournament next weekend. And then I'm just at Thomas Winkley on Twitter. I'm not super creative. I generally tweet about fighting games, pizza, and software dev. So it's a good time.
Hey, look, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, not everyone can be a horrible shit poster like me, so it's totally fine. At this point, my Twitter identity has become shit posting and talking about this show, so I think you're okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. We almost made it out of the show. We almost fucking made it. God damn it. All right, Tom. How many horror movies do you watch, Tom?
Oh, so fucking many.
Do you really?
I really watch a lot, yeah.
All right. You ever heard of a movie called Axum?
No, but I'm writing it down.
All right. Well, here it is. I'm going to put it up on the screen for everyone to fucking see. All right. Here's the cover for Axum.
Oh yeah. This looks like a movie I'd watch.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Hold on. So I tried to find this the other day because I was going to buy it for sales. Because it from 1992. Has a 1.2 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh my god.
It is a piece of shit. This movie is $80 on Amazon.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly. You cannot find this movie cheaply. I tried to find it. It is expensive as shit because recently, happy birthday, Sales. Everyone tells Sales happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sales.
I was going to buy this for him, and I was like, he asked about it so much, I'll send him this DVD. It'll be so funny. $80 fucking for this DVD. Get the fuck out of here. Absolutely not for this horrible, horrible, shitty movie. I refuse. But yeah, so Axum is a thing. Axum is a movie that no one should watch. It's a piece of trash. But there we go. That's the end of the podcast now.
So I'll give you an even worse movie to watch.
Okay.
It's called Poop Monster. It's called The Poop Monster.
Poop Monster?
I think it's called Poop Monster.
Poop Monster?
And like the whole point is a serial killer dies, falls. Monstered is the name of the movie.
Monstered!
Serial killer dies, falls into a sewer. Of course, there's also radioactive waste in that sewer, and he turns into a serial killing poop monster.
Oh, baby. Oh,
It's
Monstered.
Real bad.
Oh my god. Alright, Tom, can I have you back on so we just talk about shitty movies? Or
Dude,
horror movies?
I will do my best. I would love to do that. Yeah.
Oh my god, because I just have 1,000 horror movies that I want to talk about all the time. Like, Ginger Snaps is a movie that needs to get brought up more by more people. Ginger Snaps is... Alright, so, look, if I'm going to recommend a movie, hold on, I'll put this up on the screen now. Ginger Snaps is a movie that everyone... Not Ginger Snaps the cookies, Ginger Snaps the fucking movie. Jesus Christ. Not the cookie. Oh, it's two separate words. That's the problem. Ginger Snaps, the movie. Okay.
What the fuck is this?
The story of two outcast sisters in the mindless suburban town of Bailey Downs. On a night of Ginger's first period, she is savagely attacked by a wild creature. Ginger's wounds miraculously heal, but something is not quite right. Now Bridget must save her sister and save herself. Oh, baby, this fucking movie. Oh, this fucking movie.
Oh. Have you seen Teeth?
Oh, of course I've seen Teeth.
Okay.
Of course I've seen Teeth. There was a movie. Fuck, I found it at the dollar store years ago. It's about a little monster that crawls up inside this guy's colon and like nests itself there. And now it takes control of him every now and then, like from inside his colon, and he kills people. Oh, fuck. Dollar store horror movies are the best.
Yeah, I'm all about it. All about it.
Oh, man. All right, Tom. Well, look, in the future, I'm going to bring you back on to just talk fucking horror movies with me because this is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm very excited all of a sudden. More excited. Fuck this FGC podcast. I just want to talk more horror movies. Anyways, if you want to find Tom, you can find him at Thomas Winkley on Twitter at ThomasWinkley, or you can follow the Salt Lake City and Utah FGC at GetGoodFGC on Twitter. Also, GetGoodFGC on Twitch. Make sure to tune in and watch Got Good FGC next weekend with special commentator James Chen will be there.
Yeah,
super
my man
duper
James
awesome.
is coming.
That's awesome. So everyone tune in and at least say hi to James and watch Street Fighter and Tekken Top 8s when they happen. If you want to find me on the internet, everywhere, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, RedTube, at Sriracha Flash. You'll find me around. If you want to rate and review the podcast, that would be awesome. Tell your friends, tell your wife, tell everyone you know. Post an audio clip on the Walmart over a speaker. Let them hear the show. I don't care. Get the show out there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. I've been your host, Sriracha Flash. This has been Tom Winkley. Y'all have yourselves a good night.